Yes, hello, welcome to another episode of the Top 4 podcast, VARguably the best football podcast
in the world.
There we go. It's one of you. It's Naval Pash next week. You've got to say that. So last week we did a load of transfer talk. We thought we analysed the biggest transfers that were coming up, try to predict Pogba, what's going to happen there, and then only for arguably the top two, one of the top two players for the last 10, 15 years, to then have his own transfer news, which, didn't make our podcast null and void, but took a lot of the interest away. Lionel Messi.
I love how you said top two to avoid the
controversy. No controversy. Today is not about my opinion on Ronaldo being better. Today is literally just about Messi and where he is going next.
I can't
believe it. Ronaldo's better.
Yeah, he is, but we don't. That's not what we're talking about today.
No, we'll go at a different time. Yeah,
we talk about when they both retire. We can talk about that. But
okay.
For now, Lionel Messi. He said he wanted to stay. Barca wanted him to stay. He's done his press conference. He's cried a bit, and he looks like he could be going to Paris. Where do we start with this? Where do we start? At the beginning?
I have a feeling you're salty about Messi. Obviously, we were in the pub earlier when we had a chat, and I don't know if it's just because you're a Ronaldo fanboy, which I am as well, but why are you so salty about Messi, mate?
Well, look, I was going to address this today just because
address it
for our for our few listeners who might check the TikTok and that is that let's be honest, right? Last summer, Messi wanted to leave. Okay,
yeah,
he wanted to go. He wanted a new challenge, or he wanted more money. Whatever you want to look at it, he wanted to go, and Barca said no, you're staying. And now he's going. It's so sad. Everyone get the violins out. It's awful. Like, he's been there for 20 years. It's his whole life. It's his family. His kids were born in Spain. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, you can't play that card after what happened last summer. And that's where I am at with it. And I understand it is shocking, but it's like, for me, this seems like his perfect excuse for him to get away and still be a hero. And that's how I see it.
Yeah, it's all about time. I understand what you're saying about time, but you can't fake what he was doing at that press conference the other day. He was fucking just bawling his eyes out he was just bawling his eyes out in front of everyone.
He's still upset and leaving. Don't get me wrong. Like, he's still upset and leaving, but I'm just thinking it's so you've made a press conference because at the end of the day, Messi doesn't need money. And I know that you're going to say, well, he would have taken a 50% off, but he could go down to way less. But I know he probably thinks I shouldn't do that. I deserve the money I get.
Yeah, why should he?
Yeah.
But last summer he wanted to go. It's not like he's never been in doubt. Do you know what I mean? If he'd signed a contract last summer, Barcelona wouldn't be in this position because he would have had the contract already signed.
I think he was trying to get a new contract. He was just playing the game, which all footballers do, saying they're going to go, and Barca just simply didn't offer it. So I think it's Barca's fault, and it's Barca's fault for being in such a run in such a shambolic way that they've got into this mess anyway.
Yeah, mate, they're in billions of pounds of debt. It's just crazy what's going on there. Like I said, they were obviously trying to offload other players to try and keep Messi to stay, but it's been going to happen. Like you said, they probably could have got around it in like a certain sort of way. Maybe if he, I don't know, made some sort of contract where he got paid in bonuses or something like that instead. I bet they could have got around the financial fair play in that sense, where he could have been like on a really low wage, but then he gets a bonus just for fucking playing like 2 games a month forever. They could easily do something like that in the contract. I don't know how he'd still play with financial fair play, but they could have kept him if they really wanted to.
I have a feeling that Barcelona was just banking on the Super League to go ahead, weren't they? And they could get away around this financial fair play, and obviously they get a lot of money through that. And it's so mad. One of the probably best players that's ever played the game can just go on a free now. It's crazy. It looks like PSG's the only. It looks like it's almost done deal anyway. And I think it's the only place that people can see him going.
Yeah, there's huge speculation about that, isn't it? I was reading reports as well. People saying that PSG have already booked out the Eiffel Tower for tomorrow, the 10th of August.
You've got to guess at how could PSG not get done by financial fair play though. Like, obviously you shared the thing earlier, didn't you, Jack? The wages, and it's
unbelievable.
It's incredible. So I know financial fair play is quite tricky, but surely something's got to trigger up with that.
You sound like Barca lawyers.
Yeah. They paid me to fucking pick this up over the podcast. Get it out there.
Just in case financial fair play listening. Something's got to be done.
Barca have come in and said that, or apparently Barca lawyers are like trying to
they're
block
trying to
the
stop it,
PSG
aren't they?
move, which just makes, to me, like it sort of adds a little bit to what I was saying before about, it's like if he's such a, if it's so Barca's fault and it's, it can't happen and, it's so sad. Like, why are now Barca now blocking him from carrying on his career at the end of his career? It's weird. It's a very weird situation.
If that did happen and somehow it blocked PSG signing him, what would happen to Messi? Obviously, this is all if buts and maybe. And obviously, it looks like PSG is a done deal. But
how can they block him? I don't get that.
No,
he'll go City. City will sell their training ground and call it Etihad 2 training ground, and like suddenly find £200 million into the bank accounts, and they'll go, well, it's in the rules, and then where to sign it.
I just generally don't think they like City, for example. Like I've read that Pep has already said, no, it's just not plans. I think they probably were kicking themselves since they signed Grealish, and then a day or two later, it's like, oh, Messi can't carry on. But like, you've got to think as well, they 100% want Kane. So it ain't going to toss up between Messi and Kane. Kane's still got like quite a few years left in him. Obviously, Messi probably has as well. He played till he's like 40 and he'd be at the peak of his game. But they're going to want someone a bit younger, like Harry Kane, who can get the most years out of.
I think Man City must have known. I know it was quite a shock to the football world, but there's no way Pep didn't know this like this a day before he got released. I mean, he's so integrated into Barcelona and the people that work there. Surely he must have known something about it. It's all a bit. It does seem a bit fishy, doesn't it? It seems like there's more that
it's unprecedented. Never happened before. Can you remember a time where this has happened, where apparently the club and the player both want it to happen, but it can't happen because the league's blocking? It's just never happened before.
Yeah.
Apparently, Atletico have inquiries. I can't ever see that, but I did laugh at when I saw that. I was like, oh, imagine that.
There's going to be a rumor of every club, I reckon, going to go in for him.
Yeah, 100%. But like I said, if the wage bill that you sent earlier, if that's true, and like I said, all these rumors do end up, and like say for example, if they announce him tomorrow by doing that Eiffel Tower thing, the rumor about them hiring it out, you were saying that the thing that you sent earlier was like 650k a week. Absolutely eye-watering money, and that you've been almost nearly everyone else at PSG ain't that far off anyway. Like maybe like 100 grand, 50 grand off.
That's just a rumor, though, mind. It's not confirmed.
Yeah, and that's just the wages. What is interesting? He was in Paris, I think, like a week before.
He had that photo, didn't he?
Hang out with Neymar. And Fabrizio Romano said, he posted, obviously following on for what Messi said. I was just there on holiday, but. It's too much of a coincidence in this game, isn't it? If he's been over there, I reckon he's been tapped up, hasn't he? But then I think the motion that has come through it is him just obviously devastated about leaving Barca. He's been there, it's his whole life, give him his family home and stuff like that.
Being tapped up by the players, over having like a fish and chips name. I was like, want to come? He's like, yeah.
Do you think they're fish and chips in Paris? Come to fish and chips. Come, Mess, let's go.
Clubs are so sneaky, in there. If they got inkling that you're going to leave, they'll be sort of sending you dirty texts in the night and that.
Yeah, sexting you like.
I think what we all can be excited for is the front line: Neymar, Mbappe, Messi. I mean,
stinking.
Well, that's not allowed.
Could that be better than MSN? This was obviously the same for Suarez.
It's probably as good, I'd say. And like Suarez was unreal, and still is fucking pretty unreal. He's what helped win Athletic.
I think people are forgetting though. There's still the trouble that Barca are under. Like,
they're fucked.
If they don't drop any more players, Aguero, Depay, who's already played preseason games, they can't actually play in La Liga. So this could be like the start of something bigger, I reckon. Like Messi's just the first one. Do you know what I mean?
First of the
dominoes. They were saying that if they could sign Messi, then they would have been able to sign the others because of how much like money Messi makes for the club. They would have been able to have just signed the other players, but the fact they've not been given permission to sign Messi basically means they can't sign these other players.
Have you seen that lots of the players, just obviously in the training, are getting booed because the fans feel like they're annoyed at the players that are there, like Titi's getting it really bad, Griezmann's getting it really bad, because they think the fans are thinking you should have left, but you're sitting on that big wage. That means our best ever player, the best player of all time, can't re-sign. So they're taking out on the players of Barca. It's going to get nasty. It's going to be a nasty season, honestly.
I can't wait.
Imagine being
and
a
you
I
got-
literally looking forward to it. This season's gonna be class.
Imagine being a Barca fan and Messi's leaving. Like,
Like,
you'd be
it's
gutted,
mostly-
wouldn't you?
like, most people who probably support Barcelona really support it because of Messi anyway. Let's be
Yeah.
fair.
He's gone.
And that's
over there.
nothing against Barca as a club, obviously a huge club, but like and always has been a huge club. But like, let's be fair, they're massively global because of Messi as the poster boy for him, really, and he being one of I reckon the best footballer ever.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, but they've had Barcelona have had loads of like amazing players.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. But yeah,
In terms of like currently, Messi is their go-to.
he's a goat.
Because like the other players like Griezmann and other top players they've had have just not been as big. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's like this tapping up thing. Well, he would have had conversations last summer and like probably in January with clubs, and now it's like, oh, I can't re-sign for Barca anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I don't really want to hear the whole, but Messi's a savior sort of thing.
Yeah.
One thing I would love to have seen is Juventus going in for it and having like Ronaldo and Messi on the same team for the first time. Like,
That'd be
imagine that. That'd be incredible. Like
I think maybe our best chance of that is probably MLS, isn't it?
them two at the LA Galaxy
just-
absolutely smashing Americans. Like,
Taking souls of young Americans.
I think
oh my god.
I think they're both playing different. They could definitely both play in different teams at MLS because I don't know. I think you're allowed 4 designated players, isn't it? Can you imagine having 4 designated players and 2 of them is Messi and Ronaldo? Just might as well just give them the MLS to whoever team gets that. But I think if this happened in like 2 years' time, he'd probably just go MLS now. I was saying earlier to Bash, I wouldn't die of shock if the PSG move got blocked. I think MLS is a move that he could go. He could go to America for a year, eat whatever he wants, be a baller, score loads of goals, and then hopefully next summer Barca have sorted out their thing and he'll go back to Barca. Like I could see that happening.
It is quite a huge. Obviously, when he does finally leave, well, it doesn't look like he's going back. That Messi and Ronaldo both out of La Liga now. It's sort of end of an era, isn't it? And it'd be interesting, like Barca, Real Madrid, we've spoken about before, they're in enough trouble as it is. And without Messi, and this affects Real Madrid too, without Messi in La Liga, so many sponsors, so much revenue has just been deducted from the league now. So I don't know, it might get really competitive, but I can't see it. Barcelona are probably going to sink quite far down.
But yeah, it's good though that after the whole Super League stuff, that like at least one of the clubs is being punished for it now. That is a punishment for them, Barca now. I'm trying to think, Real. I'm trying to think of their biggest player. Is obviously they're losing Ferran, not their biggest player, but still a top player.
They lost one of the biggest players.
So yeah, it'll be good if
Ramos as well, don't forget.
That's why I'm so glad that La Liga sort of looks like they've stuck their foot in and said no, you're not signing him, because obviously they tried to leave UEFA. So yeah. It'll be interesting, but I think I was going to say we should do a little prediction on where we think he's going to be at the beginning of the season. But I think like we're all probably, it looks likely where he's going. Did anyone not think
Manchester United?
I was going to say,
Yeah.
does anyone think he's not going to PSG?
Nah, that's where it end up if not
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think we're all the same with that.
I don't really still see the attraction. I know they're like, one of the biggest teams in Europe, but that league, man, like, is he just going to play Champions League? Like, I don't get what the attraction is.
Lifestyle.
Yeah.
So,
living in Paris.
That's what it is. Lifestyle money, and then just play midweek every 3 weeks, or not even that.
Yeah. And it's easy games for him as well.
He's going to bang 6 goals against Mets or something. Do something mental.
The rest of the French league, though, are like still down about their position playing PSG anyway. Now they're like, for fuck's sake.
Have you seen? I haven't seen. I don't know his name, but a French manager in the league got asked in a press conference about Messi joining the league, and he said it gives him a hard on. That was his answer in the press. So I think even if you're going up against him, it's exciting. You got to shake his hand at the end of the game.
Thanks for listening to VARguably the best football podcast. Now, don't forget to follow us and like us on all social media platforms to keep up to date with the latest football news.